beginning years of a child's life are very important. Between the infant and toddler years, children grow quickly and have so much to learn. But some children have special challenges and special needs.
She struggled a lot in the first year of her life. She was failing to thrive in a lot of different ways, and her weight had many concerns with her.
She was a little bit delayed with her growth and her walking, talking, and
when they first came, she wouldn't even crawl, she wouldn't babble, but now she likes to talk.
He was born with spina bifida, hydrocephalus, Chiari malformation, a bunch of stuff, club feet. He's had to have several surgeries on his back and his brain and to get things kind of working the way they're supposed to work.
I noticed that he wasn't making syllables and sounds like a 9-month-old would. And so I think about a year I had him tested and we realized that he did have some delays.
He really, at 2, didn't have any speech. And I noticed that. My mother-in-law brought early intervention to my attention.
Many different factors in early childhood can lead to developmental delays that may increase as the child grows.
Come to realize that there's something not quite right with their child, and I think that's their biggest fear. It's like, what's wrong with my child? And can it get fixed? Is he going to be just like all the other kids?
Well, a lot of times the concerns of the parents are that their child is different from the other children, not making the same developmental areas that they see in their siblings or other kids that they play with. So that kind of is distressing, and a lot of parents get really anxious about that.
I think some of the biggest concerns, they're not sure what their role is going to be, what their role is going to be in the therapy, and should I sit here, or should I go in the kitchen, should I go upstairs, should I go away? And I think that right away we try to, I mean, this is a family-based program and everyone has to be involved, and that includes certainly parents and siblings and everyone who's a part of that child's family needs to be involved.
Recognizing a child may be delayed is the first step in helping them. There are many reasons for developmental delays. Some of them are easily recognized and some are not.
Junior is 3 years old. He'll be 4 in October. When he was born, he had apnea at Glens Falls Hospital. He was transported to Albany Med. We spent 14 days at the NICU unit. While there, he suffered a stroke, which the proper term is cerebral palsy. When I got home, the public nurse came and for the regular baby checkup, and then she suggested that I call early intervention Marcy Lee. And that was the best phone call I ever made in my life, because I got my son the help he needed in our home environment on my own terms, and I didn't feel alone.
He came into our early intervention program fairly young. His doctors told Mom that he wouldn't be able to walk, and as you see, he can now walk. He is somewhat verbal now. We still have some goals that we have to meet, but he's really come a long way.
So I feel it's very important to provide support to parents at this time, because they are, if a child has a developmental delay, a parent is dealing with a lot emotionally and physically through the day, and I think that the more support you provide to the parents, grandparents, child care center, wherever the child is spending most of his or her day, the better for the child, really. The child's going to benefit from the whole environment working towards his or her development.
The Early Intervention Program operates right here in Clinton County. The Early Intervention Program, administered by county health departments, is dedicated to helping children who have developmental delays or disabilities. There is no cost to families for the services they receive.
The parents are the most important people in this child's life, and they are the ones that are going to make the difference in the child's life. They are the ones that have to follow through with whatever kinds of treatments that the child needs, and it has to be a partnership. None of us should go in that home and say, wow, I think your child should be doing this in 6 months. You know, it's whatever the parents feel is a priority for them, their family, their lifestyle, their child.
They asked me what my expectations, what I wanted Seth to do in the next 6 months.
My daughter Nicole is a little shy to begin with, so I think it helped her to be more comfortable with me being involved.
They get our input all the time.
Yeah, they get our input, and sometimes the therapist does involve the other children.
A lot of parents, I think, wonder therapy. What is that going to be for a year-old or a 6-month-old or whatever age? And so they just are curious how that will occur.
It's really important what the parents do is the carryover with the therapist, show them things that they can do is really what's important in making progress with the children.
Today I worked on a variety of different things, working on picking up and releasing. I was trying to get him to actually put it into a bowl.
What we were doing was trying to work on improving his range of motion so that his foot position for walking can be much better, so he can be flatter with his heels down.
There are 5 areas looked at when evaluating children. The first is communication. Do they have a good suck? Are they starting to coo or babble? Do they start putting words together? Number 2 is adaptive. This is where they learn self-help skills such as dressing and feeding. The third area of development is cognitive. Are they recognizing familiar objects and faces? Can they follow simple directions? Are they able to solve simple problems or ask for help? The fourth is social emotional. Are they smiling, laughing, interacting with other individuals? And finally, the fifth is physical development. This is divided into 2 areas. Small motor skills are how well they use their hands, how they play with toys. Large motor skills, such as kicking their legs, pulling themselves to a standing position, and eventually being able to walk. All skills build upon each other and are interrelated. It's a really fast and complex time of growth for children.
The earlier that you start a child, then the less delays that they'll have when they start school. And the optimal situation is after receiving early intervention and perhaps services in preschool also, they won't need them once they reach kindergarten, so they won't be pulled out of the classroom. So they'll be able to stay in the classroom, and that's the optimal situation. Obviously, it doesn't happen in every situation, but the earlier that you start, the less delays they'll have later on.
When they're young, like Rebecca, you can also be working on sounds and working on speech before they get into bad habits of using a sound incorrectly and sticking with that sound. You can kind of correct it as it becomes a problem.
He's made over 1.5 years growth in 6 months, which is significant. When I met him, he had 10 words, and now I can't even count them. I would say they're in the 100s.
When I first started coming here, she was using a few single words, but mostly, and she didn't really want to do very much verbally. She wanted to gesture, or take you to things, or point to what she wanted. And it wasn't until she really got confidence using some words that she took off.
I am always surprised. Junior always surprises me. He surprised me today when he spontaneously put 5 words together. It's like, wow.
He's able to walk with a walker, and he's learning to walk with forearm crutches. And as far as walking is concerned, you know, right now it looks good that he'll be able to walk.
A child involved in the early intervention program will receive the necessary services to help them develop to their full potential. Children grow and develop at different rates. However, parents know their children best. If you have questions or concerns about your child's development, talk to your child's doctor or call the Clinton County Early Intervention Program.